The other law that kind of goes hand in hand with the first one is basically about stripping away of property of Belarusian people. Once again, it's been signed basically in secrecy, and it's basically similar, somewhat at least similar to something that Russia has done or is doing. That basically the government can strip away you of your property or take away your property if it deems it necessary, basically. If it deems it necessary, basically. So it's not even about people. It's not even about like people so much as about companies as well. So once again, it's something similar to what Russia is doing, right? Like for example, some company, let's say like McDonald's, is saying like fuck that shit. We're not gonna participate in Russian economy anymore. We don't care about the fucking market. We're not gonna support them. So they're exiting the market. And then Russian government comes and says, well, okay, fuck you. We're going to expropriate your property. We're going to expropriate, buildings that you've built, all the equipment inside of it, and so on and so forth, right? So this is basically something similar to that, once companies are exiting Belarus as well, or those companies that exit in Belarus as well, and those companies that cannot, for example, take their property. You can't take really, but like equipment, so on and so forth. If they leave it basically in Belarus, Belarus sort of comes in and says, well, in the national interests, we're gonna expropriate it and we'll nationalize it and basically make it ours. I don't understand really, but like I'm obviously thinking differently, but I don't understand how you can be so brain dead to not see how this will absolutely fucking cripple not only your economy. Well, yeah, first of all, it will absolutely fucking cripple your economy, but will plummet your country into absolute abyss in just like 3 to 5 years. Because if this regime of this fucking potato fur will continue, and if the regime of Putin will continue as well, none of big businesses will do actual work with these countries, will do business with this country. None of the large companies who are producing amazing things, be it whatever, airplanes or cars or technology or even freaking machinery to build like factories and so on and so forth. Once those companies say, well, go fuck yourself, basically, what the fuck do you think you're gonna do? You're a shithole fucking dictator in a small country, and another fucking shithole dictator in a big country just started a war and basically cut himself. Not even, he didn't shoot himself in one foot. He took a fucking chainsaw and cut both of his feet on his own. And you was stupid enough to depend only on him because you loved power so much. You just couldn't relinquish your power and go into retirement. So yeah, that's basically it. They can take anything away from anybody or any kind of company, business that they deem kind of who's like working against the government or whatever. So basically, like, for example, this is one interesting example. After 2020 or even before that, I'm not quite sure what year it was, but Skoda, right? Skoda, the car brand, basically said we're not gonna support. I think it was some sort of like a hockey champ, because this cunt, the Lukashenko, he actually likes hockey a lot. He thinks he's a fucking genius hockeyist or whatever, and yeah, Skoda said like we're not gonna sponsor your fucking tournaments anymore because you're a fucking dictator and fuck you. I think probably it was after 2020. I'm not 100% sure. Let's say it was after 2020. And he is such a petty piece of shit. He doesn't care about people whatsoever. He is such a petty, with such a fucking fragile, stupid fucking ego that's just fragile. Like, he's just a small man. Not even man. A fucking piece of shit. That he banned Skoda from this country, from country of Belarus. The same happened with Nivea brand of cosmetics. They also basically said, they pulled off their advertisement and said, we're not going to advertise in your tournaments or whatever, we're not going to sponsor your garbage shit. Because, yeah, I mean, it's a little hypocritical that they haven't done it before, because it was already shown in 2010 that this cunt will never give up his power. And 10 years later, people still were, dealing with this fucking retarded country and so forth, so on and so forth. If you didn't realize, I hate this country, even though I'm from here and I unfortunately live here. But that's why I hate it so much, because I see how disgusting this place is. Anyway, he banned Nivea as well. Why I know it? Because I found my perfect deodorant, like the perfect one that fits me exactly well, and it's from Nivea, and I feel like the fucking universe is conspiring against me. Because once I found it, again, a year or two later, boom, this shit, and then it's banned in Belarus. So, stellar. Anyway, so there's that. So basically now you can be stripped away of your citizenship, and you can be stripped away from all of your property if the government deems you a bad actor, essentially. Amazing, isn't it? That's just to say that this is just like for some of those Westerners who think their countries are pieces of shit and like some authoritarian, I don't know, dictatorship or whatever. How a lot of people were screaming when Trump was president. Like, people were literally fucking talking shit on Trump day in and day out on Twitter or other social media, on TV, everywhere. And in the end, even social media, it's not Trump who banned social media, it's social media who banned Trump. So it's like, wow, it's like literally the opposite of what dictatorship is. Which is, but by the way, I don't agree with those things either, of banning, especially working sitting president, which is insane. But that's by the by. I'm just saying that, like, Kim.com probably should listen to this critical discussion episode instead of reading whatever garbage or whatever fucking sources he's got. Anyway,